In other news tonight, in Washington, a new plan is introduced that could allow offshore oil drilling around Florida's entire coastline.
The plan proposes opening 90% of the outer continental shelf to drilling exploration, including the majority of the eastern Gulf of Mexico for the first time since 1988. ABC 7's Adam Cellini spoke with local leaders and environmentalists who say this plan puts the Suncoast in harm's way for no reason. He joins us now live from the Sarasota Bayfront with more details. Adam?
Yeah, Scott and Jacqueline, good evening. Now, the people behind this plan say it could be a major boost to our nation's economy and the goals towards energy independence. But that negative pushback locally is coming from people who think another spill out in the Gulf could finally make its way to our shoreline. John Horn's food prices went up back in 2010 when the Deepwater Horizon spill affected fish population. But thankfully, that was all.
We did dodge a bullet. We need to avoid any chance of doing another.
Now the U.S. government is trying to roll back regulations on oil drilling near Florida, to the disdain of environmental attorney Justin Bloom. One repealed rule includes the more frequent safety inspections of equipment like blowout preventers, which failed during Deepwater Horizon.
So that's part one. The other part, which is probably what the focus is this week, is allowing for oil leases up against the coast of Florida and throughout the country.
Local Republican Congressman Vern Buchanan has introduced legislation to extend a 125-mile drilling moratorium off of Florida's Gulf Coast from 2022 to 2027. He calls this new plan, which proposes 12 oil leases in the Gulf of Mexico, quote, rash, reckless, and a recipe for disaster.
And I want to make sure that there are teeth to what they're saying and not just a soundbite.
Manatee County's Director of Parks and Natural Resources, Charlie Hunsicker, has used much of the initial $1.4 million in local BP settlement money for land preservation along our coast. While the Department of the Interior is using oil revenue as an incentive for more environmental funding, Hunsicker says the risk isn't worth the reward.
Money is always in need, but when you have options, I would prefer to go with where the voters want us to go, and that is make the investments from the Florida Forever program and not rely on the money coming through these leases.
Now, the moratorium in drilling off of Florida's Gulf Coast should last until the year 2022 under what we can see right now in this new plan. And this plan will go through a public comment portion as well. And if you're interested in making your own voices heard, you can find out how to do so on our website, mysuncoast.com. We will be attaching a link to this story. You just have to look for it there on the website. For now, live on the Sarasota Bayfront, I'm Adam Cellini. Back to you.